2 Kings chapter 5. Here is an incident that took place so many years ago, but through divine revelation, I found out that the truths that we can learn can be applicable to all of us in this day and time in which we live, especially to reach out to the unreached. It is centered upon a man by the name of Naaman. I'm going to read some selected verses because of the limitation of time, but I will bring to you the entire story. So 2 Kings chapter 5 from verse 1 tells us, Now Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master. Watch this now. And honorable, because by him the Lord had given deliverance unto Syria. He was also a mighty man of valor. But on a low point, he was a leper. And the Syrians had gone out by companies and had brought away captive out of the land of Israel a little maid, and she waited on Naaman's wife. And one day she seized upon the opportunity and said to her mistress, Would God, my Lord, were with the prophet that is in Samaria, for he would, positive, recover him of his leprosy. I'm going to stop there, move on. Look at verse 10 from the same chapter. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, Naaman, saying, Go, wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. But Naaman was wroth. Naaman was upset. Naaman was disturbed. It tells us here. And went away and said, Behold. And every time the word behold is used in Bible, there's always something important coming. Behold, may I have your undivided attention. I thought he will surely come to me and stand and call on the name of his God and strike his hand. What this? I will come strong with that hand business in a while. Strike his hand over the place and recover the leper. But then he was refused. And then he came to his senses. And verse 14 tells us after he was warned and cautioned and encouraged and admonished by his associate, he went down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God. And his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. Now, very quickly, there are 3 areas in this story I want to highlight. The man, the maid, and the message. The man, the maid, and the message. Now, from divine revelation, the man, Naaman, represents the condition of the ripened harvest. I want you to know that. The man, Naaman, represents the condition of the ripened harvest. I did some research on this man, and I found out some things. First of all, this man, Naaman, was an honorable man. In 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 1 gives us a beautiful description about this man. He was a captain of the host of the king of Syria. He was a great man. God gave him favor that he was responsible in difficult times to win many battles when the odds was against him. History tells us that this man, Naaman, who was so honorable, he was dwelling in the stately palace of the king. He had no time to think about the pest control to kill rats and roaches, but he was able to enjoy the best facilities in his day and time. History tells us that this man Naaman was so honorable. He was the commander of the king's army. The Bible tells us with troops of horses and hosts of chariots, all men and servants wait to minister to him. If he had a speaking appointment like I had today and the air condition run out and his lip was parched, he was so honorable, there was no need for him to reach over for the bottle of water or the glass of water to press on his tongue. There was always somebody right there to render that service to him. I remembered many years ago in one of the well-known churches in Port of Spain, at Vincent Street. I was preaching 3 o'clock one afternoon. The air conditioner broke down. It was really hot. I was sweating. My lip was getting parched. Maybe for a while I felt I couldn't continue. And while preaching, I saw a lady following me with a wash rag in her hand. I said, the woman with the issue of blood trying to touch me, touch my clothes. And then she caught up with me. And she began to slap my face. I feel good. But when I went home, is then I have to face the music. My wife said, I'm glad what she did. By any wiping her face, let me do it. She said, let me handle that one. His name was a household name. He was great in himself. He was great in possession. He was great in authority. He was great in achievement. He was well respected. And I run out of adjectives. But on a low note, while he was honorable, he was hurting. He was hurting not because of some injury he suffered in battle. He was a good soldier. Here was this man, was a good soldier. He was hurting not because of the pressure of his duties. He was an excellent soldier. He had people that he just had to call the order that they were able to fulfill whatever he says. He was hurting not because of a financial problem. Like we say in colloquial language, he had more money to burn than anything else. He was hurting not because of a marital problem. I believe Mrs. Naaman was well good to him. But on a sad note, he was hurting because he was a leper. This is not something to be taken lightly. I don't know how many of you in the natural have seen a leper. It's not a pleasant sight. I've been to India 3 times. The first time I went there, I was told by the host, we are going to a village, a leper colony, 3 o'clock in the morning to visit them and pray. I had a bag of rice. I was creeping through the bushes. When I reached there, my heart was broken. To see so many men and women and children with leprosy oozing from their nose and their hands, I almost lost my voice and collapsed. But what blessed my heart, Pastor, when we began to sing how they were raising their hands in spite of their limitation and how they were lifting their voices. I said, we have people here today. They're looking so smooth. They're in the pink of health. And when you ask them to raise their hand like a robot, they're going like that. When song finish, then their hand reach up in the air, you know. And I said, these people touch my heart. In the days of Jesus, this was a very common sight. Because of leprosy, he was rejected in a sense. I want to stray my imagination, and I want to believe that every time Mr. Naaman was responsible for some victory, people emotionally will run to kiss on his cheek, but they pull back. Men will rush to shake his hands and congratulate him, but because of his condition, they will hold back. He was looked down upon with scorn. He was resented, and much, much more. Dearly beloved, while that brings a great measure of sadness in our hearts, I come to tell you of something worse than leprosy. Amen. While leprosy segregated him and bring a measure of resentment by his fellow man, there is something that called sin that will separate you from this God. Is the true position of the ripened harvest. Man is advancing in science but still hurting. Making great progress in the field of medicine but still hurting. Conquering new planets, but still hurting. Baffling the world with new invention, but still hurting. Man is condemned. I'm not blowing it out of proportion, but speaking the truth. There's too much cover-up today. Man is cut off from God. I took a survey some time ago, and I take full responsibility in saying this because I do not give the pulpit as an avenue and my opportunity to say what I want to say. I'm very responsible in what I say. But I've come to the conclusion today that the human race is sinking deeper and deeper. Morality is decaying at a rapid rate. The noise of war is sounding in every country. The rate of crime and suicide is at the highest level. The drug problem is uncontrollable. There are more people drunk than those that are sober. People living in bondage, plagued by habits and vices. But there's so much tension in the home. Husband is talking to wife. Wife is talking to husband. There's a total breakdown in the family structure. You could feel the tension. When wife sleeping on top of the bed, husband sleeping under the bed. Let me tell you something. I come from a different culture from my wife, and I grew up on George Street. I never wear iron clothes. Christmas Day, I used to eat a bread and long for people. That's the stage that sin brought me down. My wife came from a good home, so we used to have little conflict, you know. Well, you come from that, you come from that. But let me tell you, I never get vexed to the extent to sleep under any bed. I buy that bed. Me ain't sleeping under no bed. You making joke or what? I ain't sleeping under no bed. Sister Lloyd, sometimes we'll have a little exchange and get heated. I ain't coming home hungry and play my belly full and going to sleep and get up in the night and tiptoeing on the pot cover going ting tong. No, I buy that food. I ain't that foolish. There are more broken homes than knitted ones. There are more people sick than those that are healthy. Murder, rape, and etc. has gone out of control. There are more people believing the sign of the horoscope for the daily survival than putting faith in God's words. Every day, some new religion and clique and something rising up. Church, we cannot sit down and twiddle our thumbs. These are days that we need to rise and put our hands to the plow, because there are many who are hurting on the outside. They are out of the fold. We need to bring them back in the fold, because the hands of Jesus are not shortened, but still outstretched, and there is room for all. But I got to move on. The man, Naaman. Well, let's go to the maid. And you have to bear with me for straying my imagination. You know, that's my rights. This maid was not Naaman's granddaughter or goddaughter. Her story was a very sad one. Maybe one day the troops of the Syrians was marching through Israel, plundering the villages, burning their homes, and they came on this hut, and they saw this little girl, fell in love with her, and brought her back to Syria. And she was sold as a slave to Naaman. She had no high position. I guess she was not able to go in the same quarters of Mr. Naaman, being the maid. She was not able to sit around the same dining table or eat the same food because she was a maid. She was looked down upon. Nobody wants to be a maid today, no. Why be a maid when there's room to be a manager? A servant work represents one of low esteem. Nobody wants to be represented in that area. Mankind have a certain measure of pride. They don't want to be considered. I was in New York one time, and a young girl called me out. Brother Ramkissoon, I'm from Barakpur. I said, pleased to meet you. She said, I came down here and I wanted to go back and I couldn't get a job, but I just got a job as a nanny. I said, nanny? According to my culture, my mother is my nanny. I said, that girl too young to be a nanny. Then she went on to say, she got a job in a Jewish home, cleaning, etc. But they make it more sophisticated. Here in this country, we'll say the servant works. You say, a nanny. I know for a young man, I could call his name because he's living in Florida, and none only I know him, so I'm going to tell him. His name Dan. He working with T and Tech. With a group of men doing something important, they will go around cutting branches that touching the electric wire. He used to be a wayside preacher in my day. Same Dan went to the bank for a loan. In the interview, he gave his name, where he's living. They asked him, what company you're working with? He said, Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission. They asked him, what position you hold? He didn't tell him he cutting branches. He said he's a branch officer. He bringing on himself to know like cutting branch, a branch officer. Boy, that fella real clever. The man got papers and he gone to New York, living in Brooklyn, making inquiries. I heard that Dan is an attorney assistant. It took me 11 years after I got converted to go to America. Yeah? Today people get converted Sunday, and Monday they go on to America. Tuesday there's apostle. Wednesday there's a doctor. Look, let me go through that. Let me go through that at all before somebody pelts me. Let me go through that. So growing up, we always hear that America is a country of opportunities. So I say, well, Dan maybe studied some kind of law. God bless his heart. He was no fool. Pastor said, whenever I get to go to America carrying a gift, I happen to get an invitation, I get a visa, going down Brooklyn. I found out where Dan working. I went to the office and I saw Dan. I asked the security officer, I said, I'd like to see that man, he's my family. I rushed in there and I hug up Dan, he froze. And I give him a gift, and I give him a kiss here, and I give him a kiss here, like I'm from the Middle East. He said, Harry, what are you doing here? I said, well, I get a visa, boy. And I said, I had to come and see you. He said, where's that? I said, a gift to congratulate you. I hear that you're an attorney assistant. He said, yes. You see that big old white man sitting on the wheelchair? He's the attorney. He get a stroke, so I assist him in the toilet. Tell me, push, no. No wheelchair. He's an attorney assistant. So I get the idea the man studies some kind of law in the night. You see, I just tell him nobody want to be degraded and bring them to a low level. To those of you who know me, you have to take a joke, you know. That's who I am, you know. I'm very practical down to it, right? Here was this young lady. No one to befriend her. Among strange people, practicing strange customs, rituals, and ceremonies. But her eyes was focused on the true and the living God. Here is a fourth thought I want to give to you. Write it down quickly. This maid who represent the condition, or who represent the Christian position for the ripened harvest, she was God's connection. God didn't put her there because he didn't like her or he hated her. And sometimes you don't like where you're working. I know how it is. People take every day and make it hell on earth. Sometimes you don't like where you're living. It's not nice when you get up with good intention, the neighbor cursing. I had a neighbor who liked to always embarrass me when I have visitors. Curse. But I thank God Trinidadians that talk so fast. If you know he's talking fast, the visitors say, what kind of language he talking? They know him cursing. But she was God's connection. You may not like where you're working. You may not like where you're living because you want a measure of comfort to enhance your social life. Wherever God put you, he put you as his connection. That when people cross your path, that you will be able to deposit in their lives. Wherever you are, child of God, you're not by mistake. It is God's connection. God put her here. Even though her job was mean and low, and a measure of resentment was against her, she was God's connection. But then number two, the maid who represent the Christian position for the ripened harvest, she was concerned about the master's report. On a sad note, I could see the maid. She had her ears pressed to the wall, listening. She had her eyes looking at Naaman, like we say in colloquial language, peeping. She was concerned. I remember that a doctor was assigned to St. Anne's. When he went up there, he said, I ain't going to rough up these fellas, you know, because they're real mad. But he noticed they're taking turns every morning and peeping through a hole. He said, I ain't going to confront them yet. Let a week pass. After 1 week, he said, fellas, I noticed something. All you're taking turns and all you're peeping through a hole, we're all you're seeing. He said, we ain't telling you, doctor, come and see for yourself. The doctor do like that. He said, I ain't see nothing. He said, oh, you look one time and you expect to see something. 15 years we peeping and we never see nothing. You they turn around all of them and they tell you, doctor, you're mad or what? With a measure of seriousness, I believe she couldn't sleep. She couldn't wait for the breaking of the day. Very early in the morning, a lot of work to be done, a lot of clothes to wash. She confronted the madam. Madam, good morning. I'd like to have an audience with you. I could hear Mrs. Neiman saying, do quick, you have a full day. Madam, I see the condition of the boss. He's not supposed to be hurting like that. Let me come back to the story in a while. She was concerned. What are we concerned about today? Of course, we need to be concerned about what goes on around us. We ain't get to heaven yet. Me, I know angel wings, you know. To an extent, material things we need to be concerned about. We need to be concerned about what goes on in this country. Look at how food stuff going up. You aren't concerned? You go to buy smoke heroin, you get more smoke than heroin. You go to buy salt fish, you get more salt than fish. Every time you go is a different price. Look how we had hard times. Today people have running water. In my days I had to run for the water. Somebody said no, long time ago when you're peeling onions you used to cry. Now when you think about buying it, you just cry. Think real hard. What are we concerned about? Yes, the World Cup coming to an end. We concerned how West Indies playing, you know. Yeah? I feel like give me a WhatsApp. He said, a man beating your wife study. Police came, bring the wife before the judge. The judge said, I go send you by your grandfather. He said, no. I go send you by your uncle. No. He said, send me to the West Indies team. What happens, a cricketer? No, they don't beat nobody. So, little thing, don't worry about that. All right. What are we concerned about? It's amazing, heartbreaking, the amount of hours is spent that Christian use expressing concern of things of no spiritual upliftment. Which preacher more good looking than the other preacher? None of them more good looking beside me and Pastor Lloyd. None of them. Who driving the biggest car? Who have the biggest church? It's so competitive today. Who have more gift of discernment than the other? Who could see more than who? 52 years I preaching just like how I preaching. If God don't show me nothing, I ain't see nothing. Everybody today wants to play on the emotion. As an evangelist, they put so much pressure on me. They want me walk on my head and spit out coins. They want me climb on the wall like a Spider-Man. They want me swing on the chandelier like Batman and Robin. They compare me with TV preachers. Yeah, they asked me if I could blow on people and they could fall. I say, yes. Bring all of them and I now get up in the morning. All of them go fall. I ain't doing what other people doing, boy. No, not this preacher. I want to stick to the word. I don't play on the emotion of people. It's good to feel good. I don't preach for people to get goosebumps. I don't see that in the Bible. There are more important things than that to occupy your attention. That's why I preach all over the world, you know. So in America, I have to condense my word, make a local language a little. I joined with a church in Akbar Ali Kabak many years ago, preached a big crusade. That's the Lord. 2 weeks after, I see a big crusade going on. So I became very curious. I stopped by and said, I wonder who following me. Somebody told me a group of people from America joined with people here, and they're having a 5-day seminar. They spent $20,000, and they're concerned about the ethnic background of Jesus. So they're having a seminar. Around where it's full of drug addicts, but they want to know the background of Jesus. They want to know if he's Indian, he's Douglas, or he white, or he black. And they're spending all that money. I said, listen, they didn't have to spend all that money. They could have given me the tithes or give me 5%. And in a quick second, I'd tell them who is Jesus. He was an American Indian because his name was Chief Cornerstone. When you invite me, you don't invite a lecturer. I come to preach a message. I come to pour my heart, tell you what God can do for you. She was God's connection. She was concerned. She had compassion. God's people have to have compassion today. Real compassion will motivate you to action. Anytime there's compassion without action, it's high-class nonsense. Every time Jesus was moved with compassion, he touched somebody. Let's get back to that stage, to have compassion. Then she made a commitment. She said, I'm going to tell you, madam, I don't care if I lost my job, you know. I don't care if she said I'm minding her business. She could say what you want. I want to do what God put in my heart to do. There's a prophet in Samaria. If you go to him, it's not that if you're lucky and your horoscope is the right thing, people say born and look all kind of thing. I don't go them nonsense, no. Lion or cancer, or what kind of, I don't go them thing. My hope is in God. He determined my destiny. He determined my day. That's how I function. The prophet in Samaria. He would, not if he's lucky, he would, on a positive note, deliver him and bring a change and a transformation. The message represents the cure for the ripened harvest. Following me? Naaman represents the condition of the ripened harvest. The maid represents the Christian position for the ripened harvest. And the message the maid gave represents the cure for the ripened harvest. I am here to tell you, dearly beloved, This message that God has given to us is not just about a prophet or some historical figure. This message is centered upon Jesus, God incarnate, who took the form of flesh and came into this world. No longer the ideologies and the new systems and the so-called world order and all that they're offering can bring transformation and change, but only the message of Jesus. It was a positive message. Watch how it become a powerful message now. Naaman got the idea. He take the news. He get the letter. He was on the right mission, but he went to the wrong man. Instead, he go to the prophet in Samaria. He went to the king of Israel. When the king of Israel get the note, he said, this man trying to provoke me. He's sending a leprosy for me to cure. The man couldn't handle that. Like we say, his knees begin to buckle. He began to tremble and have sleepless nights. Elisha heard about it. And he said, that's not fair. Summon the man. Bring him at my doorstep. Go and tell him to dip in the river Jordan 7 times. And he shall be made whole. When the man heard that, he stamped his feet and he started to bite the gum. Who he think he talking to? He think I sell doubles and coconut? Who he feel I am? Like Olia, tell him who I am. I am the captain of the host of Syria. I'm a big man. Tell him how many battles I won. I thought he will come and sway his hand over me. You know what I'm talking about? Eh? Sprinkle a little thing over me. He refused to take the word of the prophet. Time has not changed. Let me take out my glasses. There are a lot of people today, they want magic. I don't perform magic, you know. There's everything in the word. I had 2 ladies came to me one day. 1 o'clock one Sunday morning, blowing. I preached twice. Pastor, I see the child frothing. I put on some clothes. I run down to pray for the child. I said, don't pray for the child, Pastor. The child dying. We come to ask you if you could tell me who put something on the child. I said, I'm not a specialist to tell you who put something, but I know who could take out the something. Everybody wants some kind of hocus pocus today. Are you hearing what I'm saying? A lady called me in the grocery one time, water boiling, and I run out of rice. Hopefully we don't run out too, have I? She called me. You know how long I want to meet you? But you're always busy going. Lay your hands on me. I said, for what? She said, I just opened my snack it and the punching and selling. I'm really ready to lay hands on she. Everybody want you to lay hands. They feel it come like a fad or a fashion. I believe in laying hands. But some people get so addictive to it now. You hear what I'm saying on a serious note. The time is going to come. No preacher and nobody will be around to lay hands on you. It is time that you develop spiritual development. That you will learn to lay hands on your own self. Huh? People all want all kind of soothsaying and bury this and tie it around their waist. I don't operate like that, brother. I come with the word of God. Dip! And after he was wrought and he was rebuked. And he took the message from a positive, he became productive. He dipped, and when he dipped, his flesh became the flesh of a little child. I want to declare today without any apology, the message that God has given to this church can still get the job done. It can still transform, it can still liberate. It can take your sadness and turn it into gladness. The message that God has given us to preach need not to be changed because it can take your sorrow and make it a better tomorrow. It can take you wild and make you God's child. It can take you down and pull you up. It can take you as a pauper and make you into a prince. It can take you from rags and turn you into riches. It can take you hell-bound and make you heaven-bound. It can take you from shame, amen, and give you fame. It can take you as a dope and give you a brighter hope. It can take you from darkness and bring you into the light. Bless the name of the Lord. It can take you naked and clothe you. It can take you powerless and make you powerful. It can take you as a victim and make you into a victor. restore. This message that God has given to us, the church, in this day and time, in preparation for his soon coming. It can take you as a sinner and make you into a saint. It can take you as a nobody and make you into a somebody. It can take you crooked. It can make you straight. It can take you weak and make you strong. It can take you sour and it can make you sweet. It can take you tasteless and make you tasty. And above all, it can take you as a failure and make you into a success in the kingdom of God. Give the Lord a hand of praise, somebody. I'm not going to change this message. Message is still working. There are a lot of things old. They have to put it outside for the garbage truck. The message is old, but it's still working. It can still get the job done. I come to encourage you today, dearly beloved, the harvest is ripe. The laborers are few. I come to tell you today that man is living under a cover-up. Let us not be deceived and twiddle our thumbs and feel all is well. But we need to be God's extension. Our hands need to be his hands. Our feet need to be his feet. Our voice need to be his voice. So at the end of the day, when we reach the finishing line, we can hear him say, not only well done, faithful servant, well done, good and faithful servant. Stand to your feet.